Gonna, oh, hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Me and Bethany were just catching up, and I was just telling her all these my interesting morning.
Yeah.
So, hi everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. So I was just telling Bethany like that I haven't been to bed yet because I had some stuff happen in my family, unfortunately, and it required me to take some time from work, and also it takes some time away from the readathon. I just wasn't doing a whole lot like sharing or reading at all. But like during that time, I was with family still. So my family, they watch Netflix, and so I was telling Bethany that I discovered this show and we started watching it, and I got to like episode 3, and it's like an hour per episode. And then my sister came home and my daughter came home, and I was like, you guys have to watch this first episode. If you don't like it, then I'll just watch the rest of the season by myself. And they're like, okay. But then we ended up watching the whole thing over. So I haven't been to bed since yesterday. So yeah, it's interesting. Oh, hi, Erica.
Oh man.
Hello. Yeah, so we're just hanging out. Or wait,
Yeah.
not really hanging out. I just jumped on like yeah, me and Bethany have been on we're talking for a whole hour. No, we
No.
just
A few minutes, just
yeah,
catching up. It's been
we're just
it's been listen, this time of year is just so much. I feel like for everybody, but especially having kids this time of year is just
oh,
it's a lot.
hi, Emma Ray.
Hey.
Hi. Oh, yeah, well, I don't work today. So, and I actually feel okay. I'm probably gonna crash. Like, I'm probably gonna go,
You're gonna
"Meow."
like fall asleep during reading sprints like
Yeah, so if you
Ashley
guys see
does
me drop the book
sometimes.
on, like, my lap, or I'm going like that, like, I have this when I fall asleep, I go like that really hard, like, my head almost rolls off. But, yeah, it's just and it's okay because I don't have work today,
Mhm.
so and I'm just spending time with, family. So, my sister lives in the city, like, major metropolitan area of Phoenix. Not in Phoenix, but the area around it, the burbs, and so it's like a 6-hour drive from where I live, and we come to visit her all the time, and, yeah, so we I don't know, whenever I mean, I think this is pretty apparent with everybody that whenever something, um, not bad, but whenever something tragic happens in your family, you lose someone, or you're just having a hard time, you seek out family. That's what I do, or friends. And my sister is definitely that for us. So, yeah, I'm just chilling out with my sister. Hello, hi.
That's
How
great.
are you doing?
Yeah, we're, like, so spread out from all of our family, we don't have anyone nearby at all.
Happy Skoden.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah, so the holidays were interesting too.
Yeah, I bet. That's
It was,
hard.
yeah, it was no, like, I mean, me and my sister were just talking about it, and she's all, "Well, it ain't a holiday if you don't have a little bit of family drama." I was like, it's like drama squared, or maybe yeah.
Oh, man. You
It's
know what? Actually, so I read this book, and I was thinking, I was like, I feel like this is kind of the perfect thing to read around the holidays, especially if you want something cathartic to be like, my family's not so bad.
like
'Cause it's like it's The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. It's like a thriller about this woman who's marrying into this really wealthy family, but they have these, like, disturbing games, and maybe there's murder and stuff that they play around the holidays, so, like, meeting her future in-laws for the future for the first time.
oh, what is that book? Here, I'll put it in the chat.
It's called, The Family Game. It was on Book of the Month,
Oh, really?
recently, yeah.
By who? Do you know?
Catherine Steadman
Is that with a K or C?
with a C.
Catherine Id.
EAD. Yeah, Stedman.
Okay.
Anyway, it was a trip, but I just was like, like, if you want something to be like, "Well, it's not could be
Well,
worse."
every time I think of holidays, I always think of, because I grew up on this movie, probably hint to you how old I am, but, what was that? Chevy Chase and Christmas Vacation,
Oh, yeah.
and I always think about that turkey. Oh, they're cooking it goes. So we always tease each other, me and my sisters. They're like, "Hey, did you bring the Chevy Chase turkey? I bet that one's yours." Yeah, we kinda just tease each other a lot. And it's it's really funny. So we I have there's 4 sisters, and then I have 1 brother, but we all cook, we all whatever, like, we kind of like, "Okay, I'm bringing this," and it's funny, our partners will be like, "So what are you bringing and who's bringing what?" And then I'll be like, "Oh, well, yeah, so and so, she's bringing the green bean casserole," or, "Oh, this person's making yeast bread, this other person's gonna make stew." And they're like, "What are you making?" "I'm making this." They're like and then they'll be all together and they'll be like, "Oh, well, I think your sister should have made this and you should have made this." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Well, I can see that. I'm family. Yeah, they make this better than you." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And then my kids are like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah."
Oh, man. Wow.
Hi. Yeah,
That's
so
nice, though.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm almost never together in the same place as all my siblings. It's really rare now because
Yeah,
like 'cause we're all so
we're
spread
actually
out.
all in the same state.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that lives on the res, but all of my other siblings live where near my sister, like in the valley. They call it the valley,
Mhm.
um, which is Phoenix. And, so it's not that difficult for us to get together, but I know I have another friend of mine, and they live everywhere, like, like, on the other side of the earth.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, well, because 'cause I'm the oldest of 6. I have 5 brothers, and we're in New York, and then I've got siblings in, like, California, Texas, like, Kansas, I don't know. Anyway, they're everybody's, like, really spread out.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, be like, "Yeah, we're all over."
yeah.
It kinda reminds me of, I can't remember what anime movie it was, but you guys are like the seeds that float. Was it
Yeah,
Bugs Life? Like Bugs Life, yeah, they all float away,
yeah,
and they just land wherever.
yeah, which it's funny because my parents are now like, "Oh, we just wish everybody was closer," and I'm like, "Y'all moved away from your parents too, so what did you model for us? Because they, like, were not close to family either, so I guess this was, like, normal for us, but
Yeah, and,
yeah.
okay, so, this is so funny 'cause, I was reading God, what did I read? I don't remember, but it was an Indigenous authored read, and it talked about, like, messy families, and,
Mhm.
I mean, everybody kinda has experience with messy families, but I think with Riz, because it's just such a small community, and, this author was talking about, like, the family tree, how it's not even a tree, it's like Spider-Man webs,
Oh,
like,
no.
you have this going over here, you know what I mean? It's
Like, you
like
better make sure before you date someone that you're not, like, related somehow.
well, no, I mean, not related, but you know how, like, let's say an in-law
Mhm.
will date, like, 2 sisters?
Oh.
Yeah, or cousins?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's so our we're cracking up at our at the tree, and I was like, "What the they're related to us?" So I was like, "I can't look at this. Oh, oh, my eyes, my eyes." Yeah, it was like it was kind of funny, but I was just like, "Okay,
Oh,
this is
man.
interesting." Yeah,
Yeah.
because my mom was telling me that this certain politician in our community is, like, her first cousin. I'm like, "Wait a minute, they're not even our clan." She's like, "No, I'll explain it to you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." It was yeah, but I was like, "So that's she was like, "Yeah, he's not your this, but he's your grandpa this way." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's scary."
Wow.
Or he's your uncle. Yeah, he's your, like, uncle. He's your paternal no, maternal. No, paternal. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's just look at me getting into all this stuff. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, but
mhm.
anyway. Funny story about my appointment. It wasn't today. Oh, bummer. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I've done that before.
yeah.
I've done that before. What I remember taking my kids, so it's their ortho appointment. It's like a 3-hour drive, and I took them on the wrong day. It was
Oh,
supposed to be the
no.
following week. But we needed groceries, so I was like,
Well,
"Okay, at least I got to go groceries." And the girls are all like, "What are we gonna say? What are we gonna say?" And, I was like, "I don't know, just say that you missed school." I was like, "I'm gonna lie for you. You go to school and get an excuse absent." She's all, "Mom, I had perfect attendance." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry.
oh,
I'll write a note. It was my fault."
yeah.
Yeah.
What happens, Erica?
I remember her I think she was talking about it last night on Spritz. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you have an injury? She's saying, like, "Stay off it." I'm like, "What happened?" Okay.
Rest and yeah, it just says, "Looking forward to your appointment. Hope your med's still then. Stay off it. Rest and relax." I can't remember. Oh my gosh. I was, like, running all over. I was telling I was telling Erica because she hosted sprints last night, and then
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I didn't read that much, maybe a couple lines, because I fell asleep and dropped the book on my face."
Oh, well, you tried, it's okay.
I've done that, like, and everybody's like, "Yeah, I've done that with iPads, I've done that with phones," and, I'll be oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they get it seen.
Yeah, Erica. Hope you get seen.
Yeah.
I think anything with feet or like, I've had my knee kind of my knee's old. Yeah. But I was trying to play basketball with my kids the other day, and I have this, like, huge bruise on my arm because my daughter elbowed me, but I can't run, like, I'm not agile
Yeah.
like I was, so, when I'm bouncing the ball, I'm so stiff, like I can still dribble through my legs, I was so proud of myself, and then, like, around my back, everything, but I'm just so stiff because I don't want to push off it real hard or I don't wanna jump. So when I was shooting, I was like,
Listen, getting old is fun. Yeah, I have, like, a one of my ankles I have, like, an old really bad injury from a long time ago, and, like, most of the time it's okay. But when the weather changes, it'll, like, act up really badly, and the weather has recently changed, so I've had, like, a couple of weeks of, like, on and off ankle pain that I'm like, "I would like to start exercising again, but I don't wanna exacerbate this, so I'm just gonna
yeah, so
wait until it's
I was just
better."
telling, my friends because 'cause they're all, like, running ultra marathons and
Oh,
all this
no.
stuff now, and I was like, "I can't do
Can't
that," and
do
they're like,
it,
"Oh,
no.
you're just too lazy, you can't get up." I'm like, "No, like,
No.
I've torn my calves, I've kind of, like, knocked out my knee before, and I think something is seriously wrong with my knee, but I've never gone in to get it fixed. It just doesn't I mean, it still hurts sometimes, but only when I push myself too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then people are like, "Oh, why how come you don't play ball anymore?" And I was like, I'm just I'm gonna unravel if I run down that court."
Yeah, no, it's hard, I can't really wear heels because of my I just it's listen, this is it's what happens.
Yeah,
Um, oof.
I definitely did it. Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I see, I wish I discovered audiobooks.
I've dropped books on my face when I'm reading in bed or, like, dropped my phone on my face reading a Kindle,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
reading digitally, yeah, 100%, yeah.
I broke, like, a pair of glasses, doing that, like, I
Oh,
cracked
no.
it I mean, it was an older pair that I wear to
Yeah.
sleep, but, yeah, I broke it on my
This is
broke my
why, like, if I'm sleepy, I'll try to, like, like, be on my side, so if I fall asleep, it'll just fall out of my hands, like, onto the bed instead of on my face, you know?
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
N Okay, I gotta start. My sister has this cool thing, it's like this thing she puts around her neck, and it holds the phone for her.
Oh.
Like, maybe I should get one of those. Yeah, but I bet it kinda looks interesting. But yeah, oh my god, Kim, I'm gonna tell it.
Ah,
Yeah,
it's rough.
the other day, I was kind of I don't know, my spouse, they were asking me like, "Are you gonna dye your hair?" Because I have a lot of white hair back here, and I was like, "I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna let it be." I was like, "You know
Mhm.
how much it costs to dye your
It's
hair?"
so expensive, and then you have to keep doing it all the time.
Yeah, and I get it with people who, like, do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, they just constantly dye their hair, that's awesome. But
Mhm.
I'm not so good at, yeah, I'm not very good at taking care of myself. Like, I probably would forget or maybe only dye one side or something like that, or fall asleep and while I'm dyeing and then all my hair falls out. But yeah, it just I'm just not good with stuff like that. I don't pay attention. I'm not focused on a lot of things. So I remember one time
Yeah.
I tried to dye my hair and I didn't know that you can do all these things to keep your front of your face from not getting dyed.
Oh, no.
And I had to go to a training once, train a whole room of people with dye all over the front of my face.
No.
It was like it was so yeah, it was not cool.
Oh my
But yeah,
gosh.
it's just I'm just not good at,
Yeah. I don't know. I just I'm too much of a minimalist. I don't dye my hair. Like, the most I do now is, like, every few months I'll go get my, like, undercut shaved, and, like, once a year I get a haircut. That's it.
yeah. I know my
That's
friends do that because their hair is real thick.
my hair is so yes.
Yeah, but
Like,
mine's
this is
not
like,
anymore.
listen, a third of my hair head is shaved, and I still have all this hair. Like, I have so much hair. It's like
Yeah, I used my hair used to be super thick, like,
yeah.
I had to have, like, 3 hair ties just to hold like, not even a ponytail, but at the nape of my neck. But when I had my kids, all my hair was falling out, like, by the clumps. It was
Mm.
and I even was, I have these pictures of my first kid. So I even have some right here where
Oh.
all of this hair was coming out. It looked like I
That's
mean
really normal, like, the baby, and then you have the little baby hairs growing it, yeah.
no, it was like
Oh,
even my baby hairs were falling out, like,
oh,
all of
wow.
this was coming out, and I remember looking at pictures of me pregnant with her, and it was like, "Who is that?" But yeah, I remember it
My
just
hair got curlier when I had kids.
really?
Yeah, it used to
That's
be,
cool.
like, slightly wavy, and now, like, I can make it actually curl.
Yeah,
Hormones are weird.
yeah, I think I do. Cause even when I try to, like I'll move awkwardly, like, and you know how you say you're walking in a certain direction, all of a sudden you have to change direction really quick?
Yeah,
And I felt my knee, like, give out, and, so it could be,
yeah,
but I never went to get it fixed.
yeah.
So maybe when I start hearing bones grinding on each other, maybe that's when I'll go get it fixed.
That might be a little late to get it fixed. Maybe you should look into that. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, I broke my leg and a bunch of bones in my ankle several years, like, well, how long? I mean, now, oh, geez. My oldest kid was like not even 1, and now he's almost 9. Wow. So dang. So like 8 years ago. Anyway, but 8 years ago, I like broke my leg and stuff. And so they had to put like pins and metal and stuff in my
What?
yeah. Yeah. And so I had like it was an ordeal. But um so because of that, like, the muscles are never as strong in one leg than the other. And when the weather changes, like when it gets cold, it acts up and it like anyway, I just it's great.
Yeah,
And
yeah, no, 'cause,
yeah.
I hear people, like, they get pain in their bones and their tendons when it gets
Yeah.
cold and just all kinds of stuff,
It's
so
weird. Well, and then also it'll get like stiff fur and heart. Like, I don't know. It's weird. So I'm like, which they did tell me I'd probably have early arthritis because of it. So
Yeah, and I have
on that.
partially replacing for years. That's how was that. Oh yeah, yeah, but I just
Yeah.
like when am I gonna get this?
This is the stuff
Yeah.
that people don't think about where I'm like, "Listen, there's, like, invisible disability stuff that people don't like," you know?
Mm,
I
yeah, I
just
just yeah, I
yeah.
just I think at the end of the day, I'm just lazy. Like I really take advantage of my days off, especially
I
right
don't think you're
now.
lazy, you have a full-time job and a bunch of kids, like, you have a lot on your plate, and I think it's really easy, especially when you're a mom, to not prioritize yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I have 10 kids, everyone. Just to let you know. No, I'm just kidding. I have 4.
It probably feels like 10 sometimes, though.
Yeah, it does. I mean, especially when me and my sister were living together, because we like where we're from, I also call like my sister's kids son and like baby, like they're because they're my kids like clan wise and because I'm their auntie. So it's like I remember there was times where I think I think there might have been a time where all of us sisters and kids and were living together, even if it was just like a week and or something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, when we all go home, when I because I'm out there, it's like we're all together. It's just chaos. It's like the what is that one, the old woman in the shoe with all the kids in there? It feels like it feels like that. But yeah, but I don't know. And then that like you would think being out home on the res would it's more busy. Like there's
Mhm.
the ceremonial calendar that we adhere to and there's just always something going on. There's always something going on. Someone's always having a traditional wedding. Okay, we got to go take food over there. I'm like, oh, okay, this is happening. Oh, we got to go do this. So like, oh, no, 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 no. It's like never ending. I just feel like, oh my gosh, what am I doing this weekend? Yeah. So it just,
Yeah, no, I get it, it's hard. I, like, was really proud of myself because I finally this year was like, "Okay, I'm gonna try to get myself up to date because I hadn't been to see a doctor since, like, my 2nd child was born.
yeah.
So,
I
I
mean,
finally did, like, I was like, "You know what? It is time," and so I made appointments and got stuff, and, it was good I did, but yeah.
affects joints.
Oh, fun. I don't think I'm in perimenopause yet.
I might be.
Oh god. I think I'm too young. I'm like well, I guess it's possible, but I doubt it. I'm like 35, so I think I have a few years.
I'm almost 40.
Yeah.
So I can't remember how old I am now. I think I'm 38 or 39. One of them. Wait. Yeah, one of them. No, wait, what year is it? 2022. I think I'm 38. So I'll be
Okay.
39 soon.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just
Yeah, my
weird.
husband's 39. It's like it it creeps up on you.
It's like what happened to the last decade? Oh yeah, it just
I'm like,
blended.
I know, well, I'm also
My
like, how did my kids grow up? Like with COVID, I feel like they just shot up. I'm like, what happened? Now, oh my God, I don't know.
yeah, so I have a first grader and this was his first year going to school.
Wow.
Didn't go to preschool, didn't go to kindergarten. He did everything online. So it was really interesting just talking to him about like what school was. And he was like, "Oh, so it's like online. I'm only going to be there for 3 hours." And I'm like, "No, you're going to be here all day. Who's going to feed me? Like, are there bathrooms there?" Like, it was just all these questions because he just,
Yeah.
yeah, it was, and he's older. So he was like, yeah, so he just had all these questions, and I remember the first time he came home, he had PE that week, so physical education, whatever, and he was like, "Mom, today was the best day. It was the best day ever I've had never had." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, what did you do?" "Yeah, we went to this one class, it's called PE." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Okay, that's cool, you went to PE." He's like, "Yeah, we it was awesome." I was like, what did you do in PE?" He's like, "Yeah, we sat in this circle." All of us, we sat in this big circle, and then one of us, just one, is walking around the circle, and they go, "Duck, duck, duck," and then you hit someone, and you say, "Goose," and then they chase you, and you run around the circle, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, he doesn't even know what duck, duck, goose."
That's so
It was
cute.
so funny just hearing him describe it, like, 'cause
Mhm.
it's just really he's like, "Yeah, mom, I love PE. PE is my favorite. It's the
Oh,
best class in the whole world." And I was like, "Oh, okay, awesome." He's like, "What else do you like? Do you like any other classes?" He's like, "Uh, no. I like to eat sometimes." He's like,
listen, I'll ask my kids, I'll be like my oldest will be like, "Oh, so how was school?" "It was great." I was like, "Really? What was so great about it?" "We had cookies with lunch." Like, that's pretty great.
Yeah, it's just it's really it because yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
It's me. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, we'll
just
see.
playing. Oh, cool.
My mom is, like, just now going through menopause. Like, she was in perimenopause for a while, but, like, she's just now going through menopause, and she's, like how old am I? She's, like, 57? I think that I did my math right.
I know, I'm trying to remember.
So, I guess, like,
Yeah,
within the last couple year like, few years, she's been going through menopause, but
let's see. Lucky dear, so much you wanted from the start of first grade. He told me he only wanted one question per day. Yeah, like we
that's
when we
cute.
eat together, we'll just talk. And I remember before we kind of didn't all eat together because everybody was just in their rooms trying to finish work, and it was a
Mhm,
lot for them. So they wouldn't even eat. They're like, "No, I gotta get this done. I'll eat later." And then I was like, "Please just take a plate in your room." So they would be eating in their room, like trying to get work done. And so we kind of minorly went back to this routine where we're eating dinner together. I mean, one of
that's
us usually
nice.
won't make it because they have practice or whatever, like
Mhm,
or what. And, my kids, they're they have a school, like, in their backyard. They could go to this high school that's in their backyard. It's a Navajo high school. They still teach culture and all that stuff, but, um, my kids are like, "No, we're going back to our old high school." So it's like a 2-hour bus ride for them,
oh, wow.
just depending, yeah, because they have to go through whatever. But yeah, and I was just like, "Well," and it's just because they have, like, classes, Hopi cultural classes and Navajo classes at their school that they can take, and
Mhm.
they're just like, "No, mom, like, we have to stay here." So it's just like, "Oh, okay, well, I just want things to be easier for you. I don't want you to get." Yeah, but yeah, it's hard for them. And but I remember their dad, so the community that we live in is the same community their dad lived in when he
Mhm,
was, junior high school. So he was like, "Yeah, I had to do this every day for 6 years," because he went to junior high where, my high school is at, which is Hopi. That's where we
mhm,
met in high school. And, so he was and it's interesting for them because they're not just, like, one culture.
mhm.
They're bicultural, and they're from 2 tribes, so they're, like, learning both
Yeah,
while, and then trying to navigate those 2 communities in their school. So it's I don't know, the tribal politics of it's really complicated because
yeah.
Hopi's like it's like a donut. Hopi's the donut hole, and Navajo's, like, totally surrounds them. We're landlocked by another tribal community, so it has we have challenges. We have a whole history of complexities and, unfortunately, almost like ethno racism too against one another, which is interesting, and not a lot of people. I
Yeah,
mean, we don't talk about it, but and then within our own community, within our own Hopi community, we're a minority because we're Tewa. It's we kind of we migrated from New Mexico pueblos to live in Hopi community, so we have a different language, sometimes different cultural things, and but we are just one village within, like, I think 12.
mhm.
And so it's when then we have that challenge. So it's like kind of like, "Mom, we're the minority of the minority of the minority." I'm like, "Yeah, sorry about that," but it's so interesting. So, like me, like, I know some Tewa, like or no, some Hopi,
Mhm.
'cause my great grandfather was Hopi. and I had friends who were Hopi in high school. But until I got to high school, I didn't know that I don't know that the language I was hearing was Tewa, was all Tewa. Like, and so people would ask me like something in Hopi, and I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying. But then when I hear Tewa, I'm like, oh, they said this. And I was just kind of like, and all my classmates, they don't know Tewa. So they
Mm,
were just like, what are they saying? And I was like, oh, they said like that we're fasting, and that if you're gonna that if you're fasting this week because of cultural ceremony reasons, that they have a different tray for you. And then another person after them said it in Hopi, and they're like, oh, okay, that's the same thing. I was like, "Yeah, that's what I just said." So
mm,
it's really weird,
yeah,
that, my kids, are very kinda attuned to, like, where they're from, and, I mean, it's difficult for them to kinda navigate all those, like, all those complexities, so it's really interesting.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, my youngest, so his youngest first year back public school to his teacher because
Wow.
adapted, and they have Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know how some people did it, like,
I don't know.
and some people completely homeschooled their kids, and I was just like, "I couldn't do that."
No, yeah. Mine, like, as soon as we could get them back in school, we did, even if it was part-time with masks and stuff, but, yeah, my youngest is a first grader this year, but they were, um
Okay.
they did it was I wanna say it was the second half of pre-K. Hi. Um, they were in school like 2 to 3 days a week for the second semester of pre-K, and then
Uh-huh.
kindergarten was, like, full-time, so,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
yeah.
it's just I don't my sister, my youngest sister, she
Mhm,
has, like, 4 kids, but they're all close
mhm,
and young.
yeah. Yeah, well,
They're, like,
mine are,
halfway
like, closer
elderly.
in age too. Yeah, that would be yeah, because like, mine are 2.5 years apart, um, so yeah, I don't know, it's hard. I we w I was like, "You need to be in school if you can be," and thankfully, we're at a place where it's, like, pretty high vaccination rates, and during, like, the last 2 years, it was now they're not requiring masks in school anymore, but for the first 2 years, masks were required. They had the windows
2 years.
open for ventilation all the time, even when it
Uh-huh.
was cold. Um, so it was,
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know how I
it's hard.
because my kids were it was really weird. So the our high school kind of bought into this digital school. So some teachers were teaching like themselves, but a lot of students were going through this digital academy that the school paid for.
Mhm.
So that's what my kids did because they were upper kind of like higher level taking higher level classes, so that's what they've done, but it was really difficult. It was just like, oh
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. Okay. So how about we do sorry y'all, when we me and Bethany get together
We're like, "We're just gonna chat for 30 minutes."
so as
Talk
everybody
about our, like, deteriorating bodies as we're aging.
oh yeah. I love the deteriorating bodies. This oh, and the other day too, I got hives. I used my spouse got me a new face wash and something in it, my skin reacted to it and I
Oh,
literally got hives all over my
my
face.
skin is really sensitive, like, I'm very picky about what I'll use because my skin's super sensitive to stuff. That's you know what? That's where I do the care. Like, my hair, I'm, like, very low maintenance, but I will, like, do skincare, and, like, that's where I spend my time.
Yeah, what do I spend a lot of money on? Yeah, I don't really care for my hair. I mean, it's really long.
Mhm.
I don't have to do much with it. I could just put it in a bun or like in a ponytail or whatever, but I know people who have short hair. I love because they have all these really cool ways of like styling their hair, and sometimes like I just live vicariously through them through TikTok or YouTube Shorts. I see them
Yeah.
styling their hair, and I'm like, oh, I want short hair now, but no, I don't. Yeah. Okay. We'll do a 45-minute timer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go on mute right now, and I'll put on the timer, And
What are people reading? Do we want to?
oh yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go on mute. So Bethany, why don't you ask everybody what they're reading?
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Um. So if people want to say what they're reading, oh, this is interesting. Bulgarian split squats for hip, knee, and ankle alignment. Painful, but they're painful. What? Okay. Okay, so Read This Way is reading Women of Light. Nice. I'm reading The Star That Always Stays by Anna Rose Johnson, which is like a historical middle grade about,
Ooh, who wrote
yeah.
that?
Anna Rose Johnson. It's from a smaller company. They sent it to me. Um, so it's about a girl who is I think she's biracial, but Ojibwe, but her mom wants her to pretend to pass as white when she remarries.
Awesome.
So,
Well,
yeah.
this is me. Reading a book right before the book discussions about that happen. Well, you know what? The publisher was supposed to send me an arc like 2 months ago,
Mhm.
and they forgot, or they didn't send it, or maybe it got sent back. I don't know. And then I reached out to them two more times, like, "Hey, are you gonna send me that book? Because if you're not, I'm just gonna buy it." And they're like, "No, we'll send it to you." And then the third time, there, I was like, yeah, just letting you know, I'm gonna." But luckily, Indigenous bookstagrammer Neil Yazzie, he sent
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Yes, I was like,
Oh, good.
yeah. So,
Good. I'm glad you got it. That's awesome.
and then I'll probably read this maybe back and forth. The Great Bear, book 2 of the Misiwa Saga by David A. Robertson. These covers are awesome.
Would you want this when I'm done with it?
Sure, yeah, send it
Okay,
to me.
I'll message you about it. Yeah.
Yay.
The author is Chippewa.
Chippewa.
Yeah.
Chippewa.
Anyway. Yeah.
I know. It was really cool, like seeing everybody's posts and their videos of what they're reading. I was like, I discovered like a few. Well, maybe the authors aren't new to me, but definitely some of the books.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, I was writing so many books down,
Yeah.
but it
I
was
love
really
that.
awesome.
That's
So,
awesome.
see by David
People are
Robert.
reading so many things. It's awesome.
What is this?
Oh, and I actually think I should tell you. Um, let me before I tell you this. Let me double check what I'm about to say. Hold on.
It might not be true. No, I'm just
I'm
kidding.
like, no, I want to make sure I have it right. I think I'm right, but hold on. What is?
Ooh, Firekeeper's Daughter. That's a good book.
Oh yeah. Okay. So for anybody in the US at least, because I don't know if this is true everywhere, but right now, Empire of Wild by Sherry DeMoline is on really, really big sale on Libra FM for like their Black Friday stuff. So if you do audiobooks, if you're not a Libra FM member, it's $4.99, and if you are a member, it's $3.49.
Oh, I love that book.
I know, I bought it because of you. I saw you talk about it and I was like,
Yeah,
ooh.
I remember. Gosh, just I swear, Indigenous horror also has like this huge spectrum. I mean, I know
Mhm.
everybody knows about Stephen Graham Jones, but Cherie Demoline's writing also brings like so much humanity and indigeneity into her writing, along with all those creepy horror elements. So, yeah, reading her stuff is pretty awesome. I mean, you can definitely see that too with the Mare Thieves.
Mhm.
Like no one expects it. Everybody thinks it's this just huge speculative fiction or sci-fi book, but it's like almost horror too. You're like, who in that? Yeah, it's like it's really cool. So,
That's cool. Yeah.
Firekeeper's Daughter. Yeah, I
So
love that book.
good.
It's so awesome.
Mhm.
It's like, how did she write this? There's like a billion stuff
I
packed
guess
into it.
she's writing a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crap. I saw the cover. I remember I jumped on to um a live where she unveiled the cover, and it's really pretty.
Oh,
I
cool.
can't even remember what it's called. It's kind of like, I think it has to do with not only repatriation but also like MMIW, missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. So yeah, so I'm kind of interested to read that.
Hmm.
And it's coming out in May, which is pretty
Oh, that's
intentional.
pretty soon.
Yeah, it's coming out in May, which isn't it pretty, I thought,
Oh, yeah.
because May is missing and murdered Indigenous Women's Awareness Month. With, I think the day, I think it's May 5th. I think it's 5th. Yeah. So it's really
That's cool.
interesting.
That's great.
Everybody's like, yeah, hydrate. Hydrate, everyone. I love when I see that from Pat. Okay.
I'm like, "Okay, I'll hydrate. I have my sparkling water."
I'll dehydrate and have a coffee. So if y'all are just joining us, I haven't been in bed yet. So okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go ahead. Let me see. Let me
Let's do it.
start this. Present your screen. Okay. Share screen. Window. We'll do Chrome tab.
Oh.
Okay. All right. All right, peoples. We'll do 45-minute sprint and I'll see you back here.
Oh. Oh, you still have the, comment up.
Yeah. Because it's awesome.
Yes.
We'll leave it up forever. Okay. See you guys in 45 minutes. Hi, everybody. What? Everybody okay? I'm surprised. I read 20 pages.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, when I jumped off, my sister told me to come eat, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go eat real fast. So I was
Oh,
like,
good.
I didn't fall asleep, so that's good.
That's, yeah, great. I was reading middle grade, so I went pretty quickly. I read like 50 pages. So,
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's good. It's good. Yeah, I like it. It's interesting.
Yeah, the beginning of this book, there's like all these Cree words. So I was
Mm,
sitting there trying to like um, sound them out in my head. And I was just thinking of like, okay, how like would it be long when I cut this off? I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm always thinking about like how words are pronounced, and because I'm probably just not pronouncing them right. Even though they give you this whole they break it up, I'm like, yeah. So
That's
it's
hard. Yeah.
more red bonus distracting. Oh yeah, 38 pages. Healer the Wonder
Nice.
Master. I love that book. There's a second one coming out. What is it called? Um, I think it has the word water monster in it too.
Oh,
10 pages.
hey, that's great.
Yep. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm supposed to like I'm trying to figure out what to read for December. And I was
Hmm.
like, what am I gonna read? Am I just gonna read because there's like maybe about 4 books that I didn't finish for Black Readathon, and I have about maybe I think okay, today's the 28th. So I'll probably end up having about maybe 6 books that I didn't read for November.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking about picking half of each pile
Hmm.
plus books that I just want to read,
Yeah.
like mood read to kind of throw in the pile.
Yeah.
And one of those is it Heart of the Sun Warrior?
That
Um,
sounds familiar. Oh,
is
is
it?
that the sequel to Daughter of the Moon Goddess?
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
it's called. I have the book. So I had coupons. Well, they're not coupons. Remember, I don't know if your local bookstore does this, but they'll do stamp cards,
Hmm.
and then you can add all those stamp cards together, and then just buy like something from the store. So when you fill up a stamp card for a local bookstore here, it equals $10. So I had about $30 that I saved for like a long time. And I bought that book, or I got that book with those coupons, and I was like, and I wanted to read it so bad, but I think I'm gonna wait till December and then just like I have a feeling I'm probably gonna just read it in one night or something.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's exciting.
Hey, productivity.
Mm.
Hi, sorry I'm late. No, we just started. We've only done one sprint because Bethany and I were just catching
We're
up.
talking.
We're giving a whole anthology of stories of how broken our bodies are.
Yes.
Yeah, it was funny. We're just cracking up because first I think I talked about knees and then hair and then yeah, it's just it
Yeah.
was it was cool.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
How did everybody else do in terms of reading? Or is everybody just hanging out? But I think one Indigenous read I'm really looking forward to reading is the sequel to Moon of the Crusted Snow.
I need to read that still.
Oh, you haven't read it yet?
No, I have the audiobook. I got it on sale from Libra FM once. I have it, so I
It's a really quick read. You wouldn't, it's not that thick of a book.
mhm,
I imagine, like, with how fast you read, you would probably get done with it in the evening, so because
yeah.
I read it in one setting, and, yeah, so it's and it reads quick too, like, once you start it, and all of this chaos and these things are happening within the plot, you just, like you're just just getting to the next
Oh,
page.
man. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been, like, trying to just get caught up with, like this is the problem is I have so many things for review that I'm trying to read, and then, like, also, I'm sort of trying to complete my challenge TBR that I made at the beginning of the year.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, "We'll see.
Oh.
We'll see what
Yeah,
happens."
I don't, I think next year a lot of my reads are gonna be, like, a lot more structured.
Mhm,
Like, obviously, like, arcs being having a priority, and then, just also Indigenous authored reads, but I think I I'm trying to figure out because according to work, I know, like, what months for myself are gonna be really heavy,
mhm,
where I'm probably only gonna read, like, maybe 5 books
mhm,
max. So, I'm trying to kind of, like, work my TBRs to where I'm pushing books that are have a lot more, pages to them,
mhm.
like, in months where work isn't so hectic. So, yeah, I'm trying to figure it
That's
out, like, right now, so
yeah. Well, and, like, I might be applying for jobs, so I don't know what my reading is gonna look like if I end
Mhm.
up because right now I do this full time, but I'm like, the income's not it's not really enough long term. So, I'm like, "Well, let's see." Although, I think if I was more controversial, I would make more money from YouTube. Like, having talked to some people who are, I'm like, "Oh, shoot, I should just be more controversial." I would
I should just, like yeah, okay, so, like, I love Rachel's channel,
Yeah,
like yeah, I
yeah.
swear, it's just, like, the way
She's amazing, like, but you have to put up with a lot if you do that, you know?
yeah, 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 but
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that, I'm just, like I mean, I barely had enough strength to make it through this readathon, like, hosting it and everything, and it was just kind of like this last minute decision because I think I don't remember what month I found out that Skoden or not Skoden, but, Indigathon wasn't happening, and I was like so I had, like, "Am I gonna do this? Am I not? Am I gonna do this? Am I not gonna" So it was kind of like a really, really last minute decision. I think
Yeah.
I mean, there was all these people saying they were gonna read Indigenous authored reads anyway, you know?
I'm so
So
glad you did it. I mean, I'm glad we have something to do, you know?
oh, to hate oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, like, very last minute. Oh, I love Islands
Yeah.
of the Colonial Love. The book's so good. I like the audiobook too. I think she reads it herself, right? Leanne Petasamok Simpson. Synopsis of Moon for the Crusted Snows. Yeah,
It does sound good.
it's intense. Like, it's interesting, like, the pacing isn't steady. There's times where it's fast and you're just like, "Ah, ha, ha." You don't even realize you've read, like, 40 pages because 'cause you're just burning through really intense plot moments so quick, and then there's times where pacing slows down, but those are just as, like, psychologically, like, slow burning, intense moments too. But yeah, the author wow.
Oh, man. I need to read it. I'm gonna, like I know I have the audiobook. I should, like, download it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think you would get through it pretty quick because
I think so. Oh, it's really short. It's,
yeah,
like, under 7 hours for the audiobook.
yeah,
Uh, yeah.
I know when I listened to the audio too because I think I was cleaning while I read it for the second time,
Mhm.
and it's okay, but I enjoyed the first time I read it, I just sat down I remember even what kind of tea I was drinking, what coffee mug, and all of that stuff, and I just sat there until I finished the whole thing, and, the end was, not confusing, but I was just like, "What?" You know what I mean? That this
Yeah, yeah.
has to be a second book, but it was good, yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay. Alright, I'm downloading it to my phone because I do have it. I own it from Libro FM because it was,
Uh-huh.
like, $3 on sale, so I was like, "I'm gonna buy that," and then I
Yeah.
hadn't read it, but
Did.
okay, you've convinced me.
Thank you for going ahead and putting this on. Oh, yeah.
Yes, seriously.
It was really cool, like, before things got busy for me mid-month or kind of like the end of the month, it was awesome just seeing everybody's videos, and I was, like, crying through, like I think I cried through yours, Bethany, and then also I cried through, who else did I cry Oh, Ashley's and Bree's, of course, and of
Oh.
course, Bree
Oh
is
my gosh.
so cool, she's just like, "And remember you're on stolen land," like, just, like, how she I mean, she's Bree's
I
awesome,
love
excellent.
Brie. Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm kind of excited for, next year. I just have all these plans because just seeing the amazing hosts who participated this year, like, last minute, I asked them last minute, like, "Hey, do you guys wanna host the sprint with me or possibly host one on your own?" And
Yeah.
it it was just really cool. I didn't realize, like, I guess how well received it was going to be, and so I was just so happy and really, really honored and just really humbled, and, it was,
Oh.
it was really interesting. I was trying to explain to people from my own community what a readathon is,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Okay, how would I want this explained to me?" Because when I did BookTube in the very beginning, I remember Blackoweenathon. I was like, "I don't get it." I was
Well,
very
it's like a marathon, but for reading.
Yeah, and I would kinda and I was like, "Oh, and you have these prompts," and they're like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, you just read a prompt." So, for example, if it says, "Read a book that" I don't know, "that is over 300 pages," then you have
Mhm.
a book that's over 300 pages that's authored by Indigenous author. So and they're like, "Oh, okay, and people do this? They do this, right?" And I was just like, "Yeah, they do." So, it was just,
I
interesting.
love it. That's great.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is read by Tantu Cardinal. Oh, I
Oh,
love
good.
Tantu Cardinal.
That's
Yeah,
great.
just her voice is just really powerful in that book. So Tantu
Okay, well, I'm gonna do it. See what I can get through before I'm always just, like, swimming in books, but I really wanna read it.
Yeah, there's some books I know, like, when someone recommends to me, I'm like, "Okay, I'm downloading that right now,"
Yeah.
I did that all through Black Week. I was like, Emma Ray's one, so she was saying, "Yeah, I read The Conjurement." I think that's what it was called, or I know Conjurement's in the title, and I remember, I think she had a live or she had a video that she uploaded, and she was talking about the investigation. It was just I love Emma Ray. Emma Ray is such a cool person, and when she explains, like, what she's reading, and, I think one of my favorite I think the first time, um was it the first time I watched one of her videos, and I think it was she was reviewing a book as a potato.
What?
Yeah, she had a potato filter, and she was just so cute, and it was
Oh my gosh.
funny and
That's
hilarious, but
amazing.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's
Okay,
great.
Skoden Fabulous. Yes.
Yeah, and your daughter's art's amazing.
Yeah, I felt so bad, so I just asked her, I was like, "Can you make something really fast?" And she did it in 2 nights. I don't know how. I mean,
Wow. It's
yeah,
so
so
good. It's beautiful. She did an amazing job.
she's awesome. Thank you for yeah, I definitely will.
You
I
know
mean,
what? You should 100% do is I mean, I know this was thrown together last minute this year, but especially if you do it again, y'all should, like, put together merch. She should, like, make income off of her art, you know?
yeah, I mean, I remember when I was thinking about it, doing it, and I was like, "I wonder if I have time to put together T-shirts or or just bookmarks at the very least,
Well, you know you can well, I don't know about bookmarks, but, like, you could do drop shipping with, like there's okay, we could talk about it. I could tell you
Yeah, I
how.
was gonna say
It's real yeah, like, it's really easy. I mean, they take a percentage of it, but it's really easy to
yeah,
create.
and there's a guy I know too who does, shirts. He's a Hopi artist. He, has this program or this thing where he takes a percentage of, like, what is sold, but he's like a Indigenous, artist from my community that does digital work, but also, like, I think he also weaves, but I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, his name is Alan, and his business is on Hanyoti Inc. And he's helped like so many Hopi and indigenous people when it comes to it's really good, especially
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Oh man. I was in the biggest reading slump. Um, I don't know. I kind of want to talk about it because it's just depressing, but I just had a lot of stuff going on with work, and I love my job, but it's just the content and like kind of like what my work deals with is heavy.
Yeah.
So I just was not. I would start a book and be excited, and then just put it down and not get back to it, or I would start a book and then be super excited about it, even get more than halfway through and not pick it back up. So I had a whole bunch of reads that were like that, and I was just getting, like, frustrated with myself, and then I wasn't uploading content just because I was really busy, and then,
Yeah.
oh, I just kind of and then, of course, Black Thon kind of got me, and then, of course, Bree, right, hosting Black Thon, and then at that time, me and her we're talking a lot, and she's like, "Just do it. Just do it. Good, just put it out there. Yeah, just go ahead and put it out there." And she's like I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should."
No, I'm so glad you did. I think it's great. Yeah, and so many people have been loving it, and I wish I could have done more this month. My month has just been so busy. I was like, "I can do reading
Yeah.
sprints with you one time."
Yeah, and it's totally cool, like, even just, people just doing it one time, I was
Mhm,
so thankful. Like, I was thinking, like so I had the whole calendar in front of me, right? And I was, like, shooting darts, and I was like, "Okay, however many darts I get into this calendar, that's that is my goal for getting how many people just to host sprints." And, I only landed 1 dart. In that calendar, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh." Like, okay, yeah, if I just get one person to, like, host a sprint, even if
mhm,
it's not, like, hugely long, like 6 hours or whatever, like, even 2 hours or an hour would be awesome,
mhm.
and, but it was really cool. It was just I was crying, like, when people say, "Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do
Aw,
it." And that just made me feel so good because I was just like, I know there are so many people who I know the indigenous like book reviewer community steadily growing inch by inch, but I know there's a lot of us and a lot of booktubers out there who read so many different types of authors, like,
mhm.
and especially Ashley. I know she was like one that I was going to in the very beginning when I first started booktube in terms of finding middle grade reads. So it was just like, I have people.
Yeah.
I just need to ask them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was like a very interesting journey. I remember trying to explain to just people in my regular life, like this isn't regular. No, I mean just people around me who aren't readers, like how
Yeah,
much work it is
yeah.
and how much just staying engaged and sharing people's stuff and just being
Mhm,
appreciative and showing gratitude and how much it takes up time. I
mhm.
mean, I think the amount of time that I did just sharing people's stuff, and if I add it all together, like, I wonder how much reading time, but then you can also compare it to, like, filming and editing stuff, like,
I think
that
a lot of people don't realize content, how much time and work it is, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's a lot so that
Yeah,
oh, thank you.
I
They
love
care.
it. I know. Meanwhile, I'm doing like my super last minute thing was this like that's did you see that I was doing I was doing the thing this month, the NaNoWriMo, because it started as a
Yeah,
joke on okay, because like it started as a joke on Twitter
yeah.
mostly, and then people were like, "That's a great idea." I was like, "Okay, sure, let's do it."
You're like, "Oh,
I'm like, "Okay,
I thought it was supposed to be."
I guess I can make this a thing now."
Yeah, it's so cool though, like, I think when, I try to sometimes I'll do, like, especially creators who are doing, like, sprints,
Mhm.
I'll just hop on, not comment, and to just listen to
Yeah,
like, when I'm working or I'm just kinda, like, hacking away at my keyboard, and, it's so funny, like, so some of the conversations that take place, but it's really cool because especially when you're talking about books and
mhm,
reading and just hearing what other people's, like, have to say about what they're reading, and it's just so entertaining. It's just interesting how this part of my life, like, I never thought I would share it with people. I mean, I haven't even met anybody yet, but I can't wait for the day where I just meet, like, maybe even 1 or 2 or 3 of y'all, like, at a book conference or whatever, or Comic-Con or whatever. And I'm
yeah,
just so excited for that, and, just to meet everybody in person and just be and just, because I don't really have that. I don't really have that, kinda engagement in my life where I
yeah.
talk about books and or be like, "Hey, did you hear about this author?" You know what I mean? It's just kinda like,
You need some place to do that, yeah, yeah,
"Or did you hear what happened?" Yeah,
yeah.
it's just it's funny.
Well, I like okay, because like and I guess living where I live, a lot of people come through New York City and stuff, and so I've met a fair number of people, and it's always weird to me how meeting other creators, it's, like, weird for, like, 5 minutes, and then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we know each other." Like, it's weird how because 'cause you've never met in person, but, like, it's strange how normal it feels. I don't know, it's yeah.
I I think what will make me comfortable is if I walk around with a rectangle and
Yeah.
talk to you. I'll feel like talking to you, like, walking around,
Yeah,
and I'll put the rectangle in front of you, and I'll
right.
be like, "Yeah," that will
Well,
be
like, the really interesting thing is seeing how tall people are in real life, because you can't always tell from video, and it's really interesting the people who are really tall and really short who you wouldn't expect. It's
really?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mhm.
I'm pretty short. I'm like 5'2".
I'm 5'5", so I'm very, like, average, but, like, there's like, Leanna is pretty tall, and Alexa Dunn is really tall. Like
Really?
yeah.
Well, I'll be like a little I'll be super short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Mara is pretty short. She's, like, I think around the same height as you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm kinda, like, curious I know I asked Stephanie once, like, how tall she was, but I don't remember now. I think Stephanie is, like, a person now, and of course,
Mhm.
Bree. Like,
Bree
I wish
is tall.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god, Bree is super tall.
Yeah.
I'll be like I was like, "Let's just sit in the car and talk," 'cause of my
Yeah.
neck's starting to hurt. No, I'm just kidding. It's just 'cause I'm so short. Let's see. Oh, yeah, my page goal is at 6,000.
Ooh. Oh, that's
Ooh,
amazing.
yeah, that's
That's so
incredible.
good. Yeah, I think I kind of burned myself out on content making in October, so I've, like, slowed that down a lot this month, which has been good for my mental health, but I have been reading a lot.
Yeah, I haven't even
Like
wrapped up October yet. I can't remember how many books I read in October. I wanna say 6 or 7, but, uh, yeah, I saw you were putting out a lot of content.
I was. Well, because I was doing my normal content, plus I did this YouTube challenge of, like, 30 shorts in 30 days, and it was just
Oh,
it
yeah. Those are
and
good.
I started a new channel. It was too much. I did too much, and then I got to November, and I was like, "And I'm done. I don't wanna make content anymore." Like, no, not
Yeah.
never, but, like, I needed a little bit of a break.
You're like,
I'm like,
"I'm
"I'm just
taking a nap.
gonna, like, read books."
I'm just gonna read, and then,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna read and not talk about them. I'll just show you pictures. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
I read this. It was
yeah.
good.
It
Bye."
was good. I feel like I'm okay now, but I've done more live streams than usual this month because I was like, "I need some content, and I don't feel like making a video. I'm gonna go live instead."
Yeah, I'm thinking I should start doing that more, especially when work gets pretty busy,
Mhm.
and I could just
Yeah,
I can't remember who and do, like a tag live
yeah.
or do a birthday video, and
Yeah, go for it. It's
or
fun.
I don't know, there's all these play, trivia.
Mhm. And then you can just, like,
Like,
invite
"Alright, we're
people.
gonna play scattergold."
Yeah, and, like, invite people on. Plus, it's fun. I mean, it's like you can hang out with friends and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. So
nice.
you said you have to leave an hour, right?
Uh,
It's
yes.
2 my Mountain My
Yes.
Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then my kids will be home soon after that, so
Yeah,
yeah.
same with me. I have well, my kid's already home because he's not feeling well. But anyway, I have to help my daughter. She has a final, so I'm gonna help her study for about an hour before she takes it. And I'm just like, ugh,
Mhm.
there it man. I was telling her some of my college stories, and she's like, "Mom, wow, like you're old." I was like, yeah, I guess so." And yeah, it was funny. Just
Oh gosh.
she was telling me that she went to like her first this, her first that. And I was like, "Oh
Mhm.
yeah, when I did it, like this is what happened." And she's like, "What?" Like I was like, she's like, "Why didn't you just do this?" And I'm like, "Baby, like we didn't have tap phone like where you had a screen. I feel
Yeah.
like it's like pixelated and you when you would search up stuff on the internet, like at
Oh gosh,
9
yeah. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was halfway through college, and it was like a flip phone, like a razor, a pink razor, which I felt really cool about. Do you remember
Mine
those?
mine was this block. It was a Nokia.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think, thicker than this,
Mhm.
and it had this weird thing where okay, so it just had a screen, right? It's a rectangle. So I'll just use this as an example. I had a rectangle right here, and then it had numbers like this.
And you had to push it multiple times to get the letters.
Yeah, it
The
was like
text. It
teeny.
took forever. Yes.
So, but this phone did this thing where it wasn't a cool phone. It was really thick. It was probably like, I don't know. So it did this thing where so here's the screen, right? And
Mhm.
then here's the numbers right here. And then this thing would flip up. Like it would flip up. And then I would have like a full quirky keyboard.
I
And
think I had one of those at one point. Oh my gosh, yes.
but it wasn't cool. It
No.
was not attractive looking, and it would fold over, like, here's the screen, it would fold over the screen,
Yeah.
and it would open, and you could turn it this way, and it was this huge thing, and you could text it had the quirky on there, and I remember being like, "Oh, yeah, like, I have access to the keys, I don't have to do T9." But then I was like, now I think about it, I was just like, "That wasn't cool." It was like a Nokia, and I remember, like, the ringtone too, it was so annoying, it was so loud,
Yes.
and I remember, a lot of us, like, in class, the professor would take phones away, like, for our smaller classes, like, maybe 15 to 20 or whatever, so I memorized the keyboard, so, like, when it was getting to the end of class, I memorized it, I would just text inside my pocket and be like, "Come pick me up now," like, I would and then I would press send. I knew which when it was send, but the only thing and then I had to memorize, like, my contact. So I was like, "Okay, they're this contact." So I would press the down arrow button and be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I would press the button for, like, text, and then I would T9 text and it was so funny. I wonder what I look like
That's
doing that if
hilarious.
I was like
Oh, man, and like, predictive text wasn't a thing.
No.
Like, things like, texting is such a different experience now, like, because I usually had the phone didn't like, eventually I had one that had, like, the QWERTY keyboard thing that but, like, for a long time, it was like, no, it was just the numbers, and you had to, like, hit it multiple times to get the letter that you wanted. But yeah, I felt really cool having
Are
my,
you
like,
talking
pink
about the
Razor
Sidekick?
flip phone in
No,
college.
it's older than the Sidekick. It was, you know what? I'm
Oh my
wondering if
gosh.
you should look it up. It's
You should.
so, oh my gosh, no, it's like this ugly old
Yeah.
phone,
Well, also, like, I don't think kids today, like, understand the concept of dial-up internet, you
yeah, they
know?
don't they don't
Like,
they don't
that's not
so, okay, it was oh, here it is, I found it. Okay.
Yes, and texting used to be so expensive, and you had minutes, and I'd have to like, my parents because of my minutes, like, I could only call, like, after 9 on weekdays or, like, on or during the day because it was like weekday minutes were more expensive than weeknight and weekend minutes, and so I could only, like, use my cell phone once I had one, like, nights after 9 or, like, weekends.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids didn't get it. They're like, "What do you mean
Oh,
that
man.
you had to like, you ran out of minutes?" So here is the phone I had. See this one?
Wow.
Right
Oh
here,
my
it would flip
gosh.
open. It would flip open to and then it had the keyboard, there's a space bar, and it had numbers up here. But see this looks old. This you could fold it in half, so it would look like this. Yeah, well, if
Wow.
you see these numbers right here,
Yeah,
you can
uh-huh,
pull it up, and when you pulled it up and folded it over,
uh-huh, it
then
would
it would
look like
flip right here, like, it would be like this. Yeah,
oh my
and
gosh,
I used to think it was so cool, and you see this where
that's
it says
amazing.
it has colored hands, like, colored
Mm,
hands right here, like they're brown or whatever, and it says
mhm.
Pinocchio. No, it was all black and white or black and green or, like,
Oh, yeah,
green
no,
font.
yeah, no, it was not colored at all.
Yeah, it was so funny, and, yeah, it looked like this.
Oh
That's
my
exactly
gosh,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Oh
I
my god.
eventually had one that flipped, like, the other way, like, this like, where it would, like, this
Oh,
way.
oh, kinda like this?
I think it went the it's not on the screen anymore.
Oh, here's one. Oh, yeah, hold on, yeah, stop screen, right here. Like this one?
Oh, that one has like a oh, that has a camera.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's much cooler than what I had.
Yeah, there's, like, this one, I
Yeah, I
remember
didn't have that one, but it was more like that. Kinda like it was kinda like that.
I had a phone like this, like, it would flip shut,
Mhm.
and I remember it was
Okay, I gotta show you my super cool college phone. You should look for a pink Razor flip phone,
I think my
R-A-Z-R.
mom had one.
They were super cool for a moment.
Yeah, I think she even bedazzled it.
It's R-A-Z-R.
Oh, look at
Yeah. Yeah, R-A-Z-R phone, yeah. Yes,
this
yep,
one?
that's the one. That's what I had in college.
Lucky. I remember being so jealous of people who had razors, and, I remember when my mom got one, I was like, "Oh, you
And yeah, I would, like, play with it all the time, like, flip it, but, like,
got it."
in class as, like, a fidget toy almost, like, flip it up and down. Yeah.
I remember having, god, what was it? It wasn't Motorola, it was like a Verizon, Samsung. Oh, I thought it was such a nice phone, and then I think not that long later, the iPhone came out, and I was all like, "My phone's not cool anymore." Listen,
Oh, man.
yes,
Yep.
it was ridiculous. I remember when I would use up all my mom's minutes to call my spouse. Well, he was my boyfriend then, and she would be so mad.
Or they would charge you per text, like, you
Yeah,
got a limited number, and then they would charge extra if you went over.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
call after 7.
Yeah.
Or what I used to do is I used to go into, like, places where you dial 9 and out, and
Mhm.
then I'd be on some restaurants phone
Oh,
calling
man.
people, calling my grandma,
When I
telling
first went to college, before I had a cell phone, my parents sent me with, like, calling cards.
yeah, I had a calling card too.
So, cause like, yeah, cause like, you had to call if you were calling out of state, cause they lived in a different state from where I was going to college, so, like, from the dorm phone, I would have to use the calling card for, like
Yeah, my first day of class, I didn't know where to go. I missed every single class because I couldn't find my classes, and I remember all in tears pulling out my calling card and calling my mom.
Yeah.
My classes, I don't wanna be here anymore. Like, it was so funny. I still remember that.
Yeah.
I say that to my kids and how and
Oh my god.
I was from
Yeah.
res. I didn't know, like, it was such a huge culture shock, but I think when I found, like, other natives and then things got a lot better, but
Yeah. Oh my god, or, like, printing out MapQuest directions.
Oh, yeah. I used to you know how you have it on Google Maps and it says, "Turn west or turn right here, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah," and I remember doing this to the paper, like, "Oh, I'm coming from the wrong way," and I'd be like
Yeah.
instead of doing this on your phone, boop,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And she's
'Cause,
like,
like, GPS was really expensive for a long time, so it was like, "No, we can't afford GPS." You, like, print out the directions on paper before you go and then try to read them in the car. Well, like, that's so safe for a teenager driving places.
going full circle, they're trying to yeah, my my spouse, he just recently got that Samsung flip phone thing, and it's actually really it's a really nice phone, but it's because his phone was, like, shorting out. He had, like, a really old, phone, and, like, even when he tried to watch YouTube videos and the whole screen would turn, like, green pixelated and black, he was like,
Ooh,
"I don't think the
yikes.
phone's working
Yeah, probably
anymore."
need a new one.
First felt so felt yeah, remember you didn't couldn't do a selfie. You had
Mm-mm.
to turn the camera
And
around
and and and
and
hope you'd get
hope
the
you
right
got
angle. "Oh, no, wait, that was half my forehead."
yeah, so and then you did that with cameras too, like, I remember
Yeah.
people having their
Like, the
camera
little, like, disposable cameras. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, because I
Uh-huh.
remember using that, or even just the new just electronic cameras, it could be,
Yep.
yeah, you could do it, yeah. I
Yep.
didn't even know it was like, selfie? What's a selfie? It was an LG. Oh, yeah, that's right, it was. First one was Sprint Basic. My first was a Sprint green basic flip phone, the only games on it was Snake. Mine only had Minesweep? Was
Oh,
that what it was?
yeah, I used to
Yeah,
love Minesweep. Oh, that was I forgot about Minesweep.
I didn't
Man,
know how to play it. I was like, "I don't get it."
I really liked that one, but yeah, man, that's been a minute. Oh my gosh, Minesweep,
What
wow.
else was on there? There was oh, yeah, there was Snake, there was also, I think some, like, the better phones had
Mhm.
solitary, and then, oh, and then to go on the internet, that would use like, you would have to pay extra fees.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to be able to
Yeah.
go. I remember, like,
You my parents would be like, "Never use the internet button." Like
okay, I remember this one time, I think I had tickets to a basketball game that I was going to email to my student account. And I was like, "Okay, how do I" and I had to be all strategic. "You're probably gonna be in the inboxes. Might okay, it said it came in around this time, or I gotta go in and I'm just gonna" and 'cause I don't even think it had screenshots, like, I remember being in line, like, having my phone and going on the email, it was, like, really it looked really awkward. I'm like, "Where's my inbox? Where's my inbox?" And I'm was like, "The tickets got emailed to me, but I forgot to print it," and,
Oh,
it was
no.
so funny, like, and then, my daughter's all, "Wait, you didn't have that scan thing?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, kid," like, "No, we printed our tickets,"
No.
or you have to go to will call to pick them up and stuff like that, but I was like I remember one time they emailed to me and they're like, "Don't forget to print this before you go to the game," and I forgot, but it was in my email, and then they accepted it, but of course, I think I had to pay my for those tickets all over again just because I was using the internet on my phone.
Oh my
But yeah, it was
gosh.
really 'cause they don't know we went through.
Listen, they have no idea.
Yeah, yeah, even just reading. There's no such thing as reading on your phone, let alone a iPad. I think
Oh,
Kindle
no,
kinda
yeah.
came in, like, later.
Mhm.
Um, like, I wish I mean, they had audiobooks then, but it was on CDs.
Oh, yeah.
My mom read audiobooks on tape decks, and I remember she had a big old fat set of books, and she put the tape in, and she's like, "Oh, no one's eating it. Eject it." You had to push this big old fat button, and I'd be, like, sitting
Yeah, and you had
there.
to yeah. Well, you know what we used to do too is you could, like if you had the right kind of stereo system, you could use a tape deck to record songs from the
Yeah,
radio.
I had that. We were just talking about that, how, okay, so we lived on a res, we didn't have, like, access to a lot of radio stations, but when we come down for, like when we were playing basketball games, cross country meets, or whatever, we would have the local radio station would play a lot of hip hop and R&B, and everybody would bring their stereos, the ones that could
Yeah,
record
yeah,
CBR recording,
to record the tapes, yeah.
and then you have this big old huge I mean, like, if you could go to the hotel and then plug it in, right? Because each stereo came with a cord. But if you're, let's say, driving down on the bus, everybody had these huge bags of batteries, huge batteries to put into their stereo, and I'd be like, does any can I borrow just one battery, please? I'll get you another one. I'll get you another battery." Or like, I was telling the kids, like, because I found my old CD player, and they're like, "Mom, how did you run with this? Like, you didn't." I was like, "You didn't run with the CD player." Yeah, she's like, "Oh, well, did you listen to music while you ran?" And I'm like, if you had a treadmill, you probably could, put on a treadmill."
Oh, did you not have a CD Walkman? I did, but it would
Well,
skip if you jostled it. So,
yeah,
like
yeah, but
so
I
I
mean,
would, but it was bad because like, it was like, if you run in, it would be like so you try to get the best, like, anti-skip.
yes, or there was even this oil or some, like, drop you can put into some CD players, so the spinning thing
Mm.
wouldn't go or whatever. So when my mom would listen so when we graduated from
Mhm,
tape deck audio books
mhm.
to CDs, we're like, "Oh, look at the whole book that's just on this one CD." And then there's these roads on the way to town that are so bumpy. She's all, "Take out the CD, take out the CD, this road's coming out, it's real bumpy." Or, like, we miss, like, a whole plot point because 'cause it'd be skipping, like, and the only way you
Yeah.
could get through it is just by skipping the chapter or the song or whatever, or you could try to fast forward it, but yeah, it was just, even just reading was way different.
Wow.
It's so weird. MapQuest MapQuest can even give us
Oh
more,
my
like,
gosh. Yeah.
see what you on this site. You're gonna see this tree, alright, and it's shaped like a pitchfork. And it's gonna look like it's waving at you, and then you keep going, and then, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, so after you pass that tree, maybe, like, keep going straight for about, I don't know, 3 songs on the radio, and then after that 3rd song, take a right." Yeah, it's funny, who
Oh.
genuinely uses Bing. What? For real?
Wow.
Wow, okay. My first phone had Sudoku.
Sudoku. Wow.
What? Really?
That
Yeah,
wasn't even a thing until, like, for a while.
yeah. Minesweeper played on my first computer at Windows 96.
Yes. Yep, yep.
I remember, so I had my kids watch You Got Mail,
Mhm.
and then they're like, "What is that sound? Mom, something's wrong with this
The
movie." It was like,
the dial-up.
"What is wrong with your, movie,
Uh,
mom?" I'm like,
it's like,
"Son, that's
nope, that
the
is how
sound.
you used computer. Wi-Fi didn't
That's how you got on
exist.
the internet."
That's how
"What
you
the
got on the
hell?"
internet.
I'm like,
Well,
"Yeah."
and, like, you had to pick, like, if you couldn't afford multiple phone lines, like in our household, right? Like, if someone was on the internet, you couldn't use the phone. So I'd be, like, yelling, and my
Mhm.
brother's like, "Get off the computer, I have to call my friend."
That was us. That was us too. Like my sister, because she had a home phone, but I remember her computer was right by her bedroom, and she would be on it. And I remember there was this funny, like on You Got Mail. There's this point, where is she saying, "Oh yeah, I tried a sex chat room once, but it kept giving me the busy signal." Like it was so funny. I had a tape and yeah,
Oh.
I had a tape deck, and I remember, like, you knew which kids in school had a lot of money because they had those huge folders of CDs, like, as thick as a photo album, and, my
I had one when I was in college.
yeah, and my boyfriend, he had a huge one, but it wasn't because he was buying CDs, it was because he was burning them. He
Yeah.
would burn CDs and, like, give them to his friends, and he would be like, "Oh, yeah, I can burn it for you, but you gotta buy the CD for the CD." What is it called? What do they call it? Like a DB CD, blank CDs or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then some of them were longer than others, like, you could record for 30, 60, 90, 120 minutes, and
yep.
so he would charge, like, our classmates, like, they're like, yeah, they would give him a list of songs, and he would go and he would I think the first there was
Did you ever have somebody make you a CD with a personalized playlist?
not just a CD, it was a tape. They're like, "Oh, this song ended," but then you flip it over, oh, and it started right where the song ended, and I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
it is so funny. I remember, yeah, even, like, some of the things that they would name it, like,
Yeah,
or what they would draw on it. It's sad to think I was in college with
yeah.
iPhones was invented, and now they're basically not around anymore, not pop.
Yeah, well, because
Yeah.
people just use their phones now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember the first one I had was the little square one,
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
and it had a circle and you go tick, tick, tick.
Mhm, I had one I think I still have one of those somewhere.
Yeah,
Let's
the other
see.
day, I think, who was it? They were even remember the big fat ones that held, like, thousands of songs or whatever?
My parents, when I graduated from high school, got me an off-brand version of one of those, which was so uncool, but I wasn't gonna complain because they couldn't afford to get me a real iPod.
I had one
But it
too.
was
I
like a brick, it was, like, so thick.
Yeah, I got one too from Walmart, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
"Oh," and I was like, "Oh," until, like, I read the box, I was like, "Okay, thank you."
I know. I told my parents thank you, but then I, like, never really pulled it out because I was kind of embarrassed because all my friends had, like, the cool iPods, and I was like, "I'm not gonna show you my, like, off-brand lame, like,
I'd be like, "Oh, this is my battery." No, I'm just kidding. My mom had a brick cell phone that Peter Pan had in the movie Hook. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Robin Williams, the
Mhm.
Zach Morris phone, mixtape.
Yep.
Oh, mixtape,
Mhm.
yeah!
I had
Or
somebody in high school, he was like, you need to expand your, like, music knowledge. I'm gonna make you a CD to listen to." I was like, "Okay."
It was really interesting because all my relatives listen to totally different things. So I always heard like my friends always listen to Queen or my
Mhm,
uncles and them. Then my aunties they listen to like heavy metal, like, and then other like rock bands. And then
mhm.
even have family who only listen to like Christian rock. And then my
Yeah.
sisters listen to a lot of R&B, like. H-Town, Mint Condition, like Jodeci, all that stuff, and then, what, my mom was just country. I don't like country music. She's like but it's like it was really interesting, the music my mom listened to, because it would be old country, like older than, like,
Oh,
Johnny Cash, like really.
yeah. Yeah.
And then she would even she would be listening to rockabilly, and then, like, stuff like George Strait and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Her country music was, like, all over the place.
Wow.
I had one of those CD organizers as a teen, but half the CDs were stolen from Turtles. What? What do you mean you're stolen from Turtles? I don't get it. Is it something
It
about
maybe Turtles is a store? Was it a music store?
Oh. And this
That's
is
my
funny.
guess.
I was telling my kids that you could buy just a single for a CD. Like, it
Yeah,
would have just one song, but, like, 10,000 versions of it. Like, it would have, like, without the lyrics, like, the
yeah.
instrumental. It would have it with maybe with a rap hook or,
Or
what else?
there were well, and then there were, like, CDs that had secret tracks where if you kept listening after it went silent long enough, it would have, like, a
Yeah.
secret track.
I think one of them was, like, was Blackstreet one of them, or was it Genuine? I don't remember, but one of them was
Hmm.
like that. Yeah, it had a secret song at the end. Nano. I never got to have a Nano.
No, me either.
Mm.
They were too expensive.
Yeah, they were like, "Can you bust it me
Oof.
at 16 Androids again?" Yeah, them, because they put magnets on everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and Take Two. What? It was Music Store that's no longer around.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm trying to think of a music store we had, that's no longer here. Virgin Records. What else? There was this huge place that had, like, not only just new music, but used too.
Oh.
Yeah, like, the CDs, I remember buying CDs, they're used, and they
Mhm.
were pretty good, like, they wouldn't have any skipping on them. What was that place called? Oh, yeah, there was also Tower Records. Um, I almost at Blockbuster, that's a
I
whole
mean,
'nother.
like, Borders had books and music.
Was Borders the one where you can go in and listen to a sample?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Was that
I think
Borders?
that was a Borders.
Yeah, I remember.
Mhm.
Yeah. Who else? HMV.
Hmm.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
No, me either.
Walmart always had, like, cheaper music, but it was always sold out.
I
Yes.
mean,
No. No. Okay, so for the sake of time, man, this is fun.
it's fine.
We we
This is our, like, getting old nostalgia reading sprint.
I was telling even my kids that my glasses, that because my vision's pretty bad, that, they didn't have the, what do they call the frames now, or the lenses where it's like, it thins them out,
Oh,
poly,
yeah. They were,
like,
like, thick, yeah, mhm.
yeah, my lenses are supposed to be pretty thick right
Mm,
now, and, I think my mom, she was kind of, she was explaining to the kids this one time where I was playing basketball, or maybe I was running in a meet, and she was like, "Yeah, your mom's glasses were so heavy, and I remember she was dribbling the ball, and they were sliding with
oh,
that."
no.
They were so heavy. Yeah, and I was all like, "Oh my gosh, I don't even remember that."
Oh,
And
man.
then, so to keep that from happening, we bought her a band to go on her glasses,
Mhm.
because I couldn't afford the sports goggles.
Yeah.
So it would be like a band that would clip on the end, and she's like, "Yeah, her glasses didn't fall down anymore, but she would wrap them around her head, and all her hair would just be
Oh,
and they would laugh
no.
at her because her hair would be all bushy because of her band in the back.
Oh.
It's so
You know what
funny.
she shoulda done is, like, a high ponytail and then put the band under the ponytail, you know?
Yeah, but I would always fix my own hair. I know, and then finally they got smart, they started braiding my hair. like they would
Mm,
break both sides and then
yeah.
wrap the band around. But yeah, I remember so sometimes my sisters they weren't able to fix my hair, then the band would just kind of like how headbands
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they
Yeah.
ride it and they scrunch all your hair together. But yeah, same. For in terms of underground memes. Hey, just joining.
Hey.
Oh, hi. How are you? We're just talking about how I was showing everybody a picture of my fat self that I used to have and just
Talking
talking.
about it's like being elder millennials, basically. Like, that's what this is. The
Yeah.
generation that experienced, like, pre and post internet, you know? It's like we're a small group of people.
Oh, I remember people just bragging about their CD players. Oh yeah, my CD player is like 120-second anti-skip. Oh really? Yeah, my I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like they're like, "Kim, what's your CD player?" I was like, my CD player has no skip. I just have to be very, very still and I have no skip on mine." But I remember, and then those Walkmans, huh? It was just like a
Yeah.
shape of a circle,
Yep.
and they got cheaper. So I remember when they
Yeah.
got cheaper, I was able to get one of those. I remember being all happy. I was like, yeah, bifocal.
Yeah.
Progressives, yes,
Mm.
progressive lenses, not elder.
I listen, like, you wanna feel old, like, get on TikTok, and, you know, like, it's funny, like, there was a thing going around, like, once where it was like, "Yeah, the older crowd on TikTok, you know, the people born after 1995."
Oh,
Or around or before 1995. I'm
terrible,
like,
like
"Oh my
10
gosh."
years before that. Yeah, and then yeah, there's just so many things. I remember it's just so much.
'Cause you're the
Even
same age as my husband, so you're, like, the far edge of millennial.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Even we're talking about like there's certain ceremonies that we have now, and um, we would have, and some of them take place at night. And what I remember one time when my grandpa passed away, we went over to his house to just kind of like go through things, and he had this lantern, like the one you put the oil fuel thing in it, and
Mhm.
then and I remember one time me and my sister went to REI and she saw one of those lanterns. She's like, "Oh my gosh, look at this old lantern." And then she picked it up. She's like, "This isn't even like a it just looks like the old lantern. It has batteries in it." So it had batteries. It was like but it would light up. And she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, it doesn't have that little pump where you go like it would push like the gas into that."
Yeah.
Yeah, like even just stuff like that. I remember, or like oh my son the other day. So he's all, "Mom, did you exist in a time where you guys didn't have a toaster and you had to put your toast on that big iron thing and flip it?" And
They have no concept of, like, lengths of time at all, so it's
also
yeah.
I was like, I think those existed in like the 18.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, we saw one in our book." And I was like, "I think our mom has one like this." I was like, "Son, that's the thing we used to put the logs into the fire, not what we toast the bread on." I was like, "What the heck?"
Oh my gosh.
Is the generation I
Hilarious.
used to remember 8 tracks.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
my uncles still, because we had like res rights where even some of their cars didn't even have a 8-track or anything. It just had that old dial radio, or it wouldn't even have anything.
Yeah.
And so we went to go get wood the other day, and we're traveling back. Oh no, my in-law, so my husband's sister's husband. Yeah. So my brother-in-law, he let us borrow his truck, and he has an older truck, and it's the kind where it doesn't have like a thing in the middle. It's old. I think it's a Ford or a Chevy, and it has the stick. Like
Yeah.
thing, it's not like, remember how some sticks are covered in leather and
Mhm.
then it just has the ball? but
Yeah.
this one has, like, the whole stick coming out of the ground or the floor of the truck, and then the balls on top.
Uh-huh.
And my husband is sitting, he was driving, my son was gonna sit in the middle, and I was gonna sit on the other side, and he was all like, "What the heck is this thing?" Stick. I was like, "That's the stick shift." He's all, "Well, what is it for?" Yeah, I was like, "It's to drive, it's to do." So we had to explain this whole thing of how, like, the transmission works and, like, from
Mhm.
one, and he was like, "Well," and then, I was like, "Yeah, so it's really weird for kids when you're for me, learning how to drive was easier than, learning how to drive on a stick was easier than learning an automatic because I
Mm.
was always using 2 feet. Like,
Oh.
I think kids, for some reason, when they first start driving, they think they can use 2 feet, and they're like, "No, you're automatic, you only use 1." Like, 1 foot to brake, 1 foot to gas.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Okay, so there's 3 pedals." He's like, "What's that 3rd pedal? Is that like turbo?" I was like, "No, that's the you have to push on that, and then when you push on that, you can move the stick around." I was like, "But you can't just go straight to 5. You have to kind of, like, feel the engine and know when to shift, and then you push
Oh,
the clutch
man.
down, and
Mhm.
then you shift." And he was like,
I could never get it. Like, I tried briefly I could never learn how to do sta
"You had a
Oh.
rotary
I've
phone."
used those a couple times. I think we had some relatives we visited when I was a kid that had rotary phones.
I had one.
I did, however, have the, like, one with the really long cord.
Oh,
You
yeah.
would, like, walk into the other room.
Okay, so this is how kind of, me and my spouse would talk to each other, like, we were so dumb. We would make long distance phone calls, and I would talk to him in the middle of the night, and I went to I don't know if it was Walmart or, Best Buy, one of those electronic stores, and I bought a longer cord so I could plug it into the wall and then drag the cord all the way to my room. 'Cause the phone was in the living room, and
Yep.
there was this little metal notch. I didn't notice it before underneath that phone that you used to dial up, and it would silence the bell. I remember there's a bell that would go, it would
Yeah.
ring so loud, it was so
Yeah.
loud. So there's a way that you can shift that.
Oh,
So
sneaky.
it's kinda like vibrating and it's not ringing. Yeah, it's sneaky. So as soon as like, "Hey, I need," and it wasn't like you could text and say, "Hey, call me back." It was like,
Right.
"Hey, oh, call me at 10:05, right at 10:05, and I'll be right at the
Like,
phone.
right there
I'll
waiting
yeah,
for
I'll pick it up, and then somebody doesn't wake my mom up." And then he's like, "Okay, 10:05," and I'd be like, 10:04, okay, should be calling it, and it wouldn't ring, it wouldn't go like real loud, it would just, and it was an actual bell. It's not like a digital sound, like, it
Yeah.
was actual, like, "School's out," like, hitting the triangle, and but instead of ringing the bell, the phone would vibrate, like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know if
yeah, yeah,
there's something inside keeping the bell from hitting the inside.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember we went back to my mom's house, and she has this shed with all this old stuff, and I told the kids, like, "Do you okay, dial my number," and they were just looking at it, and they were pushing, like, the number. I was like we were just laughing at them,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Wait, like, nothing's happening." I was like, "Alright, baby, you have to put your finger in this hole, and if you're gonna dial 928, you go 9, and you put 2
Mhm.
8, and then you have to wait, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, we can do it." But they weren't waiting for that circle
Yeah.
to go back to its place, so they were going, I was like, "No, you have to wait for it to come all the way back." But yeah, I had a rotary phone. 1995, I'm right right in the middle. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurricane lamp.
Yep.
Lava
Mm.
I didn't have a lava lamp.
No.
I wish I did. My friends did. They had riding bikes in the
Oh,
neighborhood.
yeah.
Yeah, we rode bikes, we never locked them up either. They would just be laying all over.
Mhm.
Um, I remember being in the chat room.
Oh, yeah, ASL. I mean, like, I don't know what we were doing because it was like you'd, like, pretend to be older than you actually were. It was really it was a time. Listen, if being like an 11, 12-year-old in chat rooms in the 90s, like, no. Yeah.
There's times I'd be
I
like,
would have, like, random I mean, I can remember, like, giggling with my friends, like, in a chat room with some, like, guy, like, asking for our bra size. I'd be like, "What should we say?" Like, oh my god.
"Size medium?" No,
Oh, jeez, yeah, yeah.
it's funny.
I was probably, like, 12 or 13. I'm like, "That was not no."
What was AIM? American
AOL
no.
Instant Messenger.
Oh, yeah, 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 that's right.
Yeah, mhm.
AOL Instant Messenger, I remember AOL. MSN.
Yep.
I had an MSN email. I had an email with all of these, I think.
I had a Yahoo email, and I
Oh,
had
I had
a
a Hotmail too.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
I had a Hotmail address at first, I think.
American Sign Language.
Yeah, it was so weird. I remember, there would even be chat rooms, like, you go into, and it has nothing to do with sex or hooking up or anything, but then people would still
People still would, yeah, of
yeah,
course. I
would
mean, it
go
was like the Wild West of the internet, you know? Like
that Wild Wild West in
yeah,
here.
I couldn't do chat rooms at because my parents, like, heavily guarded our computer, but if I went to a friend's house where their parents were more lax about their computer usage, that's when we would, like, get up to, like, "Oh, let's go check out the
They're
the
like,
chat room."
"Hey." I didn't know
Mm,
okay, so there's yeah, I didn't know how to navigate it, I guess, because remember how there would be this pop out, right?
mhm.
That you would do, and then I was like, "Wait, I don't how am I supposed to talk to these people?" Like, imagine being that young and you don't
Yeah.
even know, like, how to chat with someone else, so, I remember one time because we didn't really know, like, the lingo in terms of, like, "Be right back," those because they had the
Oh, yeah.
remember when it first started,
Yep.
and, like, you even ask it'd be like F28 or whatever, and I remember we were in a team chat room and I think it was a chat room for I think runners, and me and my friends were on there, and we were typing everything out, and they were like accusing us of being a pedophile because we didn't know we didn't know the like shortened version of how to like say
Yeah.
certain things, and I was like, no, we this is our first time on the internet. So I remember them like,
Yep.
no, you're not, you're an old man, you're typing everything out. But yeah, it was funny.
Oh,
Oh
man.
gosh.
Yep.
Sorry, all we just
It's alright. It's like a hangout. It's fun.
yeah, I know. And then we're probably gonna be jumping off soon because
Mhm.
Bethany has to go do the school rounds and stuff like that. And then for
Yeah.
me just spending so this is actually my day off, so it's my last day off before I have to go to work, back to work.
Mm,
I'm gonna like then we go back to work. I might take a
mhm.
nap because I haven't been to bed yet,
You
but
should, you haven't slept. That would be good.
yeah. I was just telling Bethany when we first started the sprints that I kind of fell into a reading slump because of just family stuff that's been going on, and I just been kind of bummed out. But of course, me and my family will still eat, and then we'll watch Netflix. So we started watching the show on Netflix, and each episode is like an hour. And I got to almost to episode 4. I finished episode 3, and then my sister and daughter sat down, and I was like, "Hey guys, can you watch this with me?" They're like, "I don't want to watch it. It's all in German. I don't want to watch it." And I was like, "Please, please, it's really good. It's a cute story." So we after I watched 3 whole hours of the show, I watched the first episode again, and then they wanted to watch it, and then we ended up going through all the way.
All
So
night.
yeah, I didn't go to sleep yet. I'm actually doing pretty good. Well, we'll see. I'll probably
Yeah,
crash.
I'm impressed you're, awake as much as you are.
Well, I always get excited talking about my old Nokia phone that
Listen, it's
the
fun. It's
phone
fun to
recorded.
reminisce. I know, we're like the old people on the porch now,
Yeah.
talking about the good old days. Chat rooms.
I mean,
wild early
there's
days of the internet.
there's even times when I go to Goodwill, like, with my kids, because my kids love to thrift shop, and,
Mhm.
they'll find something, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that almost looks like this one shirt that I wore when I was in high school."
Okay, is it weird, like, the '90s styles coming back in right
Yeah.
now?
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh my god." Well, also, I just went past a vintage store the other day, and they had a sign, they were like, "2000s and Y2K." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ah, I guess that's technically vintage now. I should have saved some of my high school clothes."
My, daughters are wearing those shirts that kind of look ribbed.
Oh,
Yeah, they bought, like, a couple of those, and, they don't like bootleg pants, though, but they bought the cargo with the string, and the
yep.
pockets on the side.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
so they bought a bunch of those pants, and what else did they buy? Uh, what's another one? Oh, they love overalls.
I
Um,
just I'm wearing overalls today. They're really comfy.
yeah, so my daughter, she was screaming in Savers. Was it yesterday or the day before? Because she found corduroy overalls. She was like, "Yes, that is nice," and
They're
everybody
great. Well,
else.
yeah, that's what these are. They're, like, the most comfortable thing, honestly. I bought them in another color too because 'cause they're so comfy.
Yeah, I wore wide leg. I know a
Yeah.
lot of girls, like, in my high school, they wore, like, bootleg or flare, but I love the wide leg,
Mm.
but then they were kind of, like, low-waisted.
Everything was low-waisted back
Yeah,
then.
but it didn't have, like, um a belt band. It was just what do you it's almost like it had just a seam around.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't think I'm explaining it
No,
right.
I think I yeah. Oh, fanny packs. Yes, listen, because I live where I live sorry, we have, like, a yeah, fanny packs started coming back in several years ago. I now have a couple myself, I've acclimated to it, but it's funny because several years ago it's weird because I live in Manhattan, right? So, like, it's always, like, the front end of fashion trends that haven't hit everywhere else yet. So, I can remember, like, right before COVID started, I started seeing, like, in parts of the city, like, gay men wearing fanny packs across
Mm.
their chest like this, like, as a bag, and I was like, "What is going on?" And sure enough, like, you got high-end fashion bringing back fanny packs, and now it's filtered down a few years later to, like, everybody else, so it's like it's interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, fanny packs are in, but the thing is, like, you some people might wear them on their hips, but also people wear them, like, slung across their chest as,
like a
like, a
purse or
yeah.
like a bag, like a,
Like,
gym
but tight it yeah, it's kind of interesting, like,
bag.
I've seen some men will wear them. I don't know, it's like an interesting
I'm so upset that low rise is back.
oh, listen, we all are, like, they're not good for almost anyone.
I remember, they're like, "Hey, don't be showing your whale tail," and I'm all like, "Well, what's a whale tail?" I didn't even know that's what they called it. I was like, "What?" I remember, it was like low rise, but you wear a thong and but it would be above.
They're doing it again.
Really?
Yes! Yes, they're doing it again. I've
Oh.
seen that coming back as well. Yeah,
I seen
yeah,
bathing suits like that.
yeah.
Oh, no, please tell me. My daughter has a fanny pack, she's had it for a while, but that's because she, will run, like what grade how old is she now? Is she 13? No, that's the other guy. Okay, my daughter is 15. Oh, yeah. I'm all trying to remember how old my kids are. But when she was, like, younger, like, in junior high, she would go on, like, maybe 7, 8-mile runs, and, she would run with her fanny pack because it would have those
Mhm.
gel, um,
Oh, yeah.
things or, like, protein bars or, like, salt packets in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she would and then or these, like, little mini, water bottles that marathoners carry. Yeah, so she would run with all that in her
I
backpack.
mean, they're kinda useful. I will say most of the ones I see now are shaped they're more rectangular. Like, they used to be kinda like that loopy kinda shape, whereas now most of them are, like, kinda shaped like a rectangle.
Oh,
which is
Oh,
interesting.
I haven't seen that. Man, I must not go anywhere.
Oh, listen, do you wanna see it? Hold on. Because they were giving some out as, like, swag things at events I went to recently, so hold on, I'll, like, go grab
Wow.
I'll show you.
My mom wanted me to buy one just like what she wa oh, she wanted you to buy a fanny pack. You guys coulda got matching fanny packs. Like, "Oh, yeah, I match." Like, oh. Yeah, I don't know, what else stuff was I don't know, yeah, my kids, like, wear a lot of sweaters and hoodies and, what else was she yeah, but they were, like, looking for corduroy pants and corduroy overalls, it was crazy.
Okay, so, like, I got this at a YouTube event. They had a YouTube Shorts one,
Oh.
so it's like yeah,
Oh,
but some people will wear them like this.
I I think I probably would I don't like to carry my bag unless I'm going to
Okay.
the library, you have your tote, but
Yeah, I mean, it's kinda useful, like, if I mean, I don't know, I don't really care anymore, I'm more practical, so it's like but yeah, so no, they're definitely back. I mean, like, this was, like, the swag thing from a YouTube event, was, like, a fanny
whoa.
pack,
Will
so
soda fit in there?
yeah,
Do you
definitely.
think the soda will fit in there?
I
Ooh.
mean, look, I have, like, an empty easily.
What? You
Yeah.
guys might see me with a fanny when I first meet you.
Listen.
Have a fanny pack. I was like, "Check out my fanny pack. It's so cool. Look at my
Yeah, but see
phone."
what I mean? It's more, like, rectangular, like,
Yeah,
they
it's
don't
not
have,
like,
like, the
they're kinda, like, shaped like a smile almost, right?
yes, like, the
Yeah,
old ones were shaped more like that. Yeah, these are more whereas these are more like they're shaped more like a rectangle, so yeah, it's kind of interesting.
look at I'll just grab I have a backpack too 'cause,
I mean, I have
I
backpacks
travel a
too,
lot.
but, it depends
Yeah.
on what you're doing. Sometimes you need something you gotta stay up with the times. Listen, if we're gonna be, like, we're if we're creators on the internet, we gotta, like, keep up with what the kids are doing these days, you know?
Oh, yeah. Alright, y'all. Well, I think we had our last, talk sprint.
Yeah.
Visiting the '80s and the '90s and 2000s.
It was very
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun, but
Yeah.
we gotta definitely do this again, where we just
Yeah.
talk about, I was
Yes.
even talking the other day about just old, well, not old, I don't wanna say old, but just, like, books that got us reading,
Mhm.
especially for, like, YA, and I had
Yeah.
a whole huge conversation with just my daughter, and we're talking about Divergent. She's like, "Mom, do you remember Divergent?" Because she found the whole set in her closet because she was going to college, and she was just
Yeah.
cleaning it out, and she reread the whole thing, and she was just like, "Why did I think this was amazing?" But she was like, "But you know what? This series led to this, that series led to this," and so
Yep.
it was really, it was fun just hearing her, like, talk about all the books
Yeah.
we were kind of, like, reading and she was discovering and just, like, and I remember, I think one of the books, being so excited about when I picked up reading again from high school was The Hunger Games, and all
Mm.
those like dystopian apocalyptic books. And I was like, oh man, I was like, whoa, yeah, but like, yeah, It's no problem. I mean, it was fun. You know
Yeah.
what? I can't wait for next year. I'm already have like so many surprises for you all,
Yeah.
especially with getting in hosts, not just to do sprints, but to have like hosts also like do their own announcement videos. I just have so and I know technically a lot of the times you'll have like indigenous booktubers or content indigenous content creators doing a lot of like the hosting. But right now I'm just kind of like waiting for like I know Itu Brody is a huge one, Michelle, but also kind of including other people who've been reading indigenous lit for a long time. I know Bethany, she's invited me to a lot of or a couple of few like lives to just where we group read like a couple Indigenous romance reads, and those are actually going up. I was like, "What?"
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited to like I remember the pool of those types of reads, even thriller being so small, like digging, you have to
Yeah.
dig to find those reads, but now they're just increasing, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, I feel like there's just been more awareness maybe, and, like, it's getting I don't know. I think yeah, it's good to see there's more.
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
just new writers, debut authors, and
Yep.
like I cannot wait to see, especially emerging authors like Morgan Talty, like what something because he's an incredible writer. I know a lot that the Night of the Living Res, it's heavy. It's very
Yeah, it is very
very heavy content. It's just heartbreaking. I think after I read that book, I took like a break, like a huge break, but I enjoyed it. I think that kind of writing now, and just reading like new Indigenous authors, like man, um I wonder what it would be like if they wrote like a horror or like or romance or I mean we know Louise Erdrich is pretty like prolific author, but like there's so many more emerging now, and I just can't
yeah.
wait to see like what they all come up with, and just like new reads from new lit from them, and I'm just so excited. And but yeah, I can't. It's almost November's almost over, but I'm
Yeah.
just excited that I just to see the engagement for Skoden Readathon was pretty incredible. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. But thanks so much, Bethany.
Great. Yeah. It's been fun. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. And all right, people, so we're gonna jump off so Bethany can get to the rest of her
Sleep.
day, and I also need to jump off as well. But thank you so much for joining us. And I mean, I'm definitely gonna be doing more reading sprints soon, like just throughout the year. So just to have conversations like this on lit and just what everybody's reading. So all right,
Yeah.
y'all. So we'll talk to you again
Alright.
later. All right. Bye.
Bye.